What is up, everybody? I am Get Flanked, and I'm back with another Rainbow Six Siege Operation Void Edge tip video for you. Today we're going to be focusing on 5 things you need to know about the new attacker coming this season, that is Iana. This is actually the 4th video in a series that I've done for this channel. The other 3 videos will be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. If you haven't seen them, make sure you check them out. The first one is about the Oregon rework. The second one is about the patch notes and all the changes coming with this season. The third one was about the new defender, Oryx. And again, this one is going to focus on the new attacker, that is Iana. The goal of this video is to not only give you an understanding of how Iana actually works, but also to give you ideas on how she can best be used in game. Hopefully after watching this video, you'll have a firm grasp on what actual in-game situations Iana will excel in. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into the 5 things that you need to know about Iana. Okay, the first thing you need to know about Iana is that there are 2 different ways to use her gadget primarily. You can use her gadget, her hologram, in combination with a teammate to kind of bait defenders into shooting the hologram. That will allow the teammate that's with you to get good information and maybe give them an opening to get an easy kill on the defender that just shot your hologram. Or you can just simply use her hologram to gather information, very similar to how you would use a drone. On the screen right now, you're seeing a couple different clips of me not playing as Iana, but following a Iana hologram as a different operator and basically just using that hologram to bait defenders, like I mentioned before. The reason this is so strong is because with that Iana hologram, you're getting a lot of information. You know, you're getting the call out from the teammate that has the hologram, ideally. You're also getting the sound from the defender shooting the hologram to tell you near where they are. And a lot of times you're going to see the tracers from those rounds that shoot the hologram to give you even more of an exact position. Not only that, but ideally the defender's aim would be towards the hologram, not towards you, which could give you a split second, which can make all the difference in the world in a gunfight. So I'm finding following these holograms to be extremely strong so far. Now, as far as when you're using it just to get information, very similar to how you get a drone, forget about trying to necessarily fool defenders. That's not really how that hologram is going to be useful when you're using it by yourself. Just use it to try to gather information. If you're getting ready to push into a room, you have 0 information on what that room looks like, if defenders are in there, where the defenders are, you can use the hologram to get that information. With that said, try to move with the hologram how you would move as your normal operator. Try to look natural. Don't just go sprinting in, making it completely obvious that it is the hologram. There's a couple benefits for that. One, you might actually, trick the defenders, even though that's not the primary purpose, I would say, of the hologram in this situation. But also, if you can avoid the hologram getting shot, if you can gather the information and then cancel the hologram on your own, the cooldown time of that hologram is much faster. You'll be able to get it again a lot quicker than if the enemy shoots it and destroys it on their end. So keep that in mind, try to move naturally with it, and I think you'll see some benefits. The second thing you need to know about Iana is that she gets stronger as the round goes on, especially when you get into that final minute of the round. If you think about attackers in that situation, a lot of times in that final minute, you don't have any of your drones left because both of them have been shot by that point, and you're getting ready to push into the objective, but you don't really have any information on what's going on in the objective, how many defenders are there, where they're at. And that's where Iana really shines. She'll be able to pull out her hologram and in most situations go into the objective, get the information that the attackers need to make that final push. And especially in like a post-plant situation, if you plant the diffuser and then you go outside, you can use her hologram to get information on where the defenders are at, where they're pushing from, are they diffusing. All that information can be really valuable, and there's no other attacker in the game that's been able to gather that information as easily in those late round situations. Okay, the third thing you need to know about Iana is that mute is her hard counter. If you place a mute jammer on a doorway, it acts on her hologram very similar to how it would act on a drone. At first, it just kind of scrambles it, and then if the hologram gets close enough to it, it'll actually completely shut it down. And that is the hardest counter to Iana that there is in the game. There are some other interesting operator interactions though. For example, Maestro's Evil Eyes, whenever they look at Iana's hologram, they won't show the heat signature that a normal operator shows. So you will see the outline of the hologram, but you'll be able to tell very clearly that it's not actually Iana, that it's actually the hologram. The same is true with the bulletproof cameras that act pretty much the same way. Another interaction is that when you are using Iana's hologram and you're looking through that perspective, Visual will show up just like he does on a drone. So if Visual has his gadget activated, you'll just see the visual indicators. You won't actually see the visual operator. So the last thing I'll mention as far as interactions is that electrified barbed wire or reinforced walls will destroy the hologram. So there's two ways to really stop a hologram from entering a room. One would be a mute jammer. The other would be electrified barbed wire. So keep that in mind, that it destroys it just like it would destroy a drone, and that's important. Okay, the fourth thing that you need to know about Iana is that she is a hard counter to Mozzie and Mozzie's pests. And that is something that's really important. Mozzie is in the meta right now. He's definitely a very high picked operator, and Mozzie's pests up to this point have been very difficult to counter. Unless you have a EMP, there are many situations, depending on the placement of the pest, where you basically cannot get rid of them. Even an IQ will have trouble getting rid of them depending on if there's a soft floor or ceiling near the pest. So this is a very welcome counter. If you run into a situation now where you're getting ready to drive your drone into a doorway and you get the Mozzie pest indicator, then you can just hop off of your drone, pull out the hologram, send the hologram in to get the information you would normally get with that drone, and you have completely countered and bypassed that pest. And again, that's just a very interesting interaction that you need to be aware of. That way, if you have a Mozzie on the other team that is very good at positioning those pests, you can still get the information you need, and you might actually catch them by surprise. A lot of people are depending on those pests now to deny drones, and this can be a big deal. The fifth thing you need to know about Iana is that she has two really good primary weapon options available to her. She has the G36C as well as the ARX, but these weapons are very different, and it's going to depend on your playstyle and what you like to get out of your weapons depending on which one you want to use. The ARX does a higher damage per second, has a higher damage per bullet, but a slower fire rate, and it only has a 20 round magazine. Now, what's interesting with this version of the ARX that Iana has is that it does have vertical grip available, and with that vertical grip attached, the ARX is a very low recoil weapon in my opinion. That's why I've been gravitating towards it. I also play a lot of Habana, so I'm used to having low capacity weapons with those 20 round mags. The G36C is a weapon that has a higher fire rate. It has a lower damage per bullet, but it also has a higher capacity. It has a 30 round mag. Now, of note with the G36C is that you can equip either vertical grip or angle grip. The ARX only has that vertical grip available. So if you're somebody who likes to maybe move around a lot and try to snap onto your enemies, then that G36C is probably going to be for you. If you're somebody who is more of holding angles, then that ARX might be the better choice. Either way, they're both very usable weapons. It's just going to kind of come down to what your playstyle is, as well as what you like out of your weapons. If you want higher fire rate, go with the G36C. If you like a gun that maybe packs a little bit more punch, that ARX might be the better choice for you. Okay, that's going to do it for the 5 things you need to know about Iana. Don't forget, if you haven't seen the other videos in this series, they'll be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen right now. Lots of good information in there to help you hit the ground running in Operation Void Edge. Thank you so much, Ubisoft, for letting me come on and do this series. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great season.